What's going on, guys? Aaron here with NAP Transport, part-time YouTuber, full-time trucker, overtime buffoon. So in this video, I wanted to kind of go over a couple things that a lot of other channels have covered, but I'm going to condense everything down into one video for you. So this video is to help people who are thinking about coming to Prime. Therefore, I am going to say that if this video helps you, please feel free to use my referral, REIALE. I'll have that down below for you. I will also have a phone number for my recruiter, link to the application, all of that good stuff. Normally I don't give out my driver code, but in this scenario, I do feel that this is kind of a partial recruiting video, so I'm going to go ahead and give that out to you guys again. That's REIALE. Without further ado, here's everything you want to know and things you didn't know you wanted to know about Prime Inc. Alright, so let's get started with the first one, the one everybody wants to know. By the way, got all this written down on my notebook here, so I don't want to give away too much too quick. Let's start with the one everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to know about the pay. What do we get paid? First off, let me start by saying this video is done by a lease operator. This video is not really going to speak much on company drivers. I don't know enough about the company side. I just know what little that I've found online and from the few company drivers that I've talked to. So in no way take this to mean that everything is company side. So we're going to start off with the pay. I can tell you that according to the website, company drivers on the reefer side get paid 50 cents per mile in a full-size truck, 55 in a lightweight, flatbed 52 cents, and tanker 57 cents. A team truck will get paid 69 cents a mile on reefer, 67 cents on flatbed, and 70 cents on tanker. I don't know about their accessory pay. I don't know about their tarp pay, their out-of-route miles for tanker washout, detention, any of that stuff. I don't know any of that on the company side, so I can't speak to that. But for a lease operator, we get 72% of the load for both reefer and flatbed. Tanker gets 71% of the load. That also is 72% of accessory pay. Flatbedders and tankers, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm a reefer driver, so I really only know about that. But like, we get 72% of the detention pay. I'm not sure about the stop pay, because we really don't know too, or we don't really see too much of that. But fuel surcharge varies week to week. It just depends on the average cost of fuel for that week. So as far as that goes, what you can expect a week really depends on you. It depends on how much you want to run, where you run, all of that kind of stuff. So really, everybody's going to give you a different number. I could tell you what I make, but that could be different than what you make. So I'm not going to tell you that you will make this or you won't make this, because I don't want you to feel that I'm lying to you, because that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to inform you. I'm here to help you. I'm not here to lie to you. I'm not here to blow smoke or anything like that. I can tell you this is my third straight week taking home $5,000. I'm a team truck. I team with my wife. But, you know, if we ran other lanes, it could be different. If loads fell differently, it could be different. So I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that you will make that every week. It just all depends on you and your needs. So, moving on from pay, truck types. What types of trucks do Prime have? Now, they're primarily a Freightliner company. I have, though, however, seen Kenworths, Volvos, and Internationals. I don't know if they're still ordering those. Peterbilts are another pretty big one here, but I don't know how that's going to be moving forward. They're restructuring everything as far as the lease purchase side. So I know right now on the lease side, if you were to order a lease truck, you cannot order a Peterbilt. I don't know if that's going to change when they bring it back. Stay tuned for that. Truck life with the company. Now in the past, they've been trying to get them out within 3 years, 3 to 4 years. But recently, with the truck shortage and all of that stuff, trucks are going closer to 500,000, 600,000 miles, which is about the end of their warranty, before they sell them. So I can't really, I don't really know what their plan is going forward. Again, that's going to be when the lease purchase opens back up, which is supposed to be pretty soon. We should have more information on that in a month or two. So stay tuned for that. That's really all I can say about that. Breakdown pay. I did not cover that in the pay segment. Breakdown pay is, at least for lease drivers, I don't know what they get for company drivers, but lease drivers, it basically is enough to cover your fixed costs. So whatever, $170 a day or $150 a day, whatever it is. And I believe it's 24 hours you got to sit to get that. I've not been broken down long enough to really have to worry about that, so they have a good network here. So we have a lot of good service contracts and stuff like that. So I'm never really sitting very long. Detention pay I covered. We get 72% of the detention pay. Now that varies because we get 72% of each customer's detention pay. So for one customer, I just had a customer that was $60 per half hour after 3 hours free. So, but then you see some that are, $1 a minute. Like, and those of you guys who drive reefer, you know which customer I'm talking about that does that. They like to go by minute after X amount free. But you always know that. And the only thing I don't like is you don't get detention that week. You have to wait for your detention. Sometimes you have to wait a couple of months. It just really depends on the customer and when they pay, because the detention, I'd say about 70% of the time pays when customer pays. The rest of the time it pays when it's invoiced. So who knows when you'll get it. So the best thing I can do is tell you to keep track of it and talk to the detention team, find out what this customer does or what that customer does, when they pay, that kind of stuff, so you have a better idea of when you'll be getting your detention pay. Home time. As far as lease goes, home time's on you. You can take off when you want, as long as you want. I believe you have to come back within 59 days. That's really the only thing to look at there. I mean, I take home time every month, usually about 5 to 7 days a month. Once or twice a year I'll take a week or two off for vacation. But really, home time is just whenever you set, and they're not going to bother you on home time. You tell them when you're going to come back out and they're like, okay. They might call you the day before, say, hey, are you still coming back out tomorrow, so they can start looking for a load for you. Otherwise, it's pretty easy here. So what I call stop work authority. If conditions are too bad, do you have the ability to tell them that it's not safe to drive? And that is absolutely you do. If it doesn't matter if Jim, Bob, and Jessica all go over that mountain, if you don't feel safe doing it, you're the only one that knows what you feel safe doing. So don't let anybody bully you. Don't let anybody pressure you. If you're already shut down, just leave it at that. I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Just got a little busy here. Alright, so moving on. Bluetooth policy. There are some companies out there that'll tell you that they don't want you talking on the phone while you're driving, that kind of stuff. Prime's not one of them. As long as it's one touch, which mine is, as you can see, that's really all they care about. Which then goes into the recording policy. If you have to gesture or use your hands or whatever while you're driving, don't do it. They generally frown on recording while driving, period. And I've actually heard of people getting terminated for that. So definitely don't recommend it. Do they have cameras in their truck? This is a big one that a lot of people ask about. No, they do not have cameras in their trucks. I believe they might if it's needed for safety, but my truck doesn't have a camera, at least not put in by them. So that means no driver facing, no forward facing, nothing like that. So I do recommend getting your own dash cam. Some people also put fairing cameras, that kind of stuff. Sorry, I'm trying to record this while I'm just walking around the yard here. Their accounts. They have a lot of dedicated accounts. I can't speak for any of them because I am OTR. So I don't know what dedicated accounts, how they pay, their home time, anything like that. But at the same time, their OTR fleet is great. I make good money. So I'm not complaining about that. New York City. As far as lease driver, you do what you want. There's no requirement. You're not forced to take loads. So, I mean, that's up to you if you want to. Sorry, I keep looking at myself instead of at the camera. That's completely up to you. If you want to do New York City. I personally don't. I don't go inside of the 287 belt, and I will decline loads that do go there. So, sorry, I'm trying to keep this light off of you guys here. Make it, a little bit easier on you, but it's not doing very well. Pet policy. I don't know about company again. Lease drivers do have a day one pet policy. As my dispatcher put it, when I asked him what we needed to do to put a pet on the truck, he said, "Tell me there's a pet on the truck." That it was as simple as that. Because there are some customers who don't allow pets on their property. So, yeah. So they want to make sure they don't send you to any of those. So we're doing pretty good. Got to stop, take out the dog once in a while and stuff like that. But hey, she don't mind it. Rider policy. Again, that is day one for lease. I don't know about for company. I believe there's something you have to fill out for insurance reasons, but I didn't have to do that. My wife wasn't on the truck until recently. And that's a different video because my wife is actually getting her CDL. Next, fueling policy. So on the Prime app, you'll see the different places you can get fuel. You'll see the prices, the raw prices before IFTA, not including the IFTA, of course. I'm not 100% sure why they don't have a way for you to see what your cost would be, including IFTA, so I'm not sure why, but that's how they do it. And they do give you the IFTA rates for each state and stuff like that. So I mean, you can figure it out on your own. But again, for company, I don't know. That's just for lease. I know we can fuel basically wherever we want to that's in network. APUs and inverters. We do have Thermo King APUs, and I believe the newer trucks are getting 1800 watt inverters, but mine is a 1500 watt. So we do have APUs and inverters for those of you guys who, like me, that was one of my selling points. I wasn't going to go to a company that didn't have APUs, and believe it or not, there are plenty out there that don't. Matter of fact, it came from a company that had opti-idle, and that ended up being a deal breaker for me because it didn't keep the truck cool enough in the summertime. And running reefer, a lot of times you gotta sleep at night, or sleep during the day and be awake at night, and when it's 100 degrees during the day, you kind of want to be cool enough so you get enough sleep and you're safe enough to drive. Fridges. Again, I don't know about company trucks, but lease trucks, you have to buy your own fridge. They sell some in the company store, and they also you can also go to like Home Depot, Walmart, whatever, and get one, so long as it'll fit in your truck and, you know, work with the inverter. Amenities at the terminals. Oh boy. The three main terminals are Springfield, Missouri, Pittston, Pennsylvania, and Salt Lake City, Utah. We do have another one in Minooka, Illinois. I don't know anything about that one. I haven't been there yet. It just recently opened. But at all of the terminals, there is a salon, which also all three have massage. You can get your mail delivered to the terminals. You can rent a box. I think it's like $1 a week or $1.25 a week or something like that. Great prices on that. What else do they have? They all have fitness centers. Springfield and Salt Lake have basketball courts. Springfield also has like volleyball, or not volleyball net, tennis nets and stuff like that you can set up on the basketball court and kind of have like a little match. Trying to think here. They all have showers, at least the three main ones. They all have bunk rooms. What else? Springfield has they all have cafes. Springfield is 24 hours. The other two, it really just depends on the day. But Springfield is 24 hours. Springfield has all kinds of amenities. They have a full mail room there in Springfield. They have a doctor's office, a chiropractor, a sleep lab. I'm sure I'm forgetting so much. 24-hour security at all three. Oh boy. Secured lots. They've got, full training pads at all three. Springfield's the biggest, of course. I think it's got 12 pads on it. There's just so much there. And I know I'm missing some stuff. I just can't think of why I'm missing stuff. You can walk right up to your dispatchers. You don't have to see them behind a window or behind a locked door or anything like that. You can see your nighttime dispatchers, provided that they're at one of the terminals. I've got one who is off-site, and she is out of a different office in the country, so I haven't yet met her because I haven't been to that facility yet. Shops. I believe all of the shops are 24 hours. Of course, at night they run more of a skeleton crew, so there's not as much getting done. But they have fair prices. I want to say $95 an hour shop labor. And I mean, you can get basically anything you need done there. They're all pretty close to dealerships. They're close enough to dealerships that it's not that hard to get to them to get your truck serviced for like recalls or warranty work and stuff like that. dispatch type. So we are not forced dispatch. We get a proposed load that we get to look over, and we decide if we want it or not. At that point, we tell them that we're going to do it. Now, if you tell them you're going to do it, you better do it. Unless something comes up that you really can't, that there's no way you can. Sorry, I'm just kind of getting my walk in here, doing some laps around this pretty big yard here, hanging out in Pearson today at the Prime Floral Yard here in Pearson, Florida. So I'm just kind of walking around tonight. You can see we've got some palms here. Yeah, so I mean, pretty easy as far as lease goes. They send you the rate with it, so you don't have to guess at the rate. Yeah, so I mean, it's not forced dispatch. You decide what loads to take, what loads not to take. Company versus lease for loads. There are some companies out there that will say that they'll take a load from a lease driver and give it to a company driver, or vice versa. Whatever's going to make the company more money. It doesn't seem like that here. I'm not going to say it doesn't happen. I'm not going to say that, you know, the company drivers get the best, that they get the best loads that'll put money in Prime's pocket. I don't know that for sure. All I know is I get paid fairly. I get paid enough to meet my needs. So I've not had any issues with my load being taken off of me and given to a company driver, or, you know, I've not had a load that I've been given that was on a company truck, or unless it's a repower. At that point, I mean, we really don't know anyway who brought it in unless you ask. If you're repowering a load, you're just picking it up from somebody, and I mean, you don't really know if it's company or lease unless you ask them. So yeah, really, I mean, I haven't seen it here. Planning. Now, let me preface this by saying this is an informative video. This is not necessarily a video that's going to be all positive. And this is where one of the negatives is. Planning. During the daytime, I'd say after 5 or 6 Central Time till about 5 o'clock Central Time PM, everything's fine. You know, they go off of when your PTA is, which is your projected time available, and they go off of that. But the problem stems at night. Now, Prime, I want to say, and don't quote me on this, I don't know the actual number, but I want to say Prime is somewhere around 80% reefer. And for those of you guys who know anything about reefer, they're 24 hours. There are customers who are only open at night to receive product. They're, you know, I can use Walmart for example. A lot of perishable at Walmart is overnight. A lot of perishable at grocery store distribution centers, overnight. So the problem stems when by 5 o'clock in the afternoon, the day before, you know, you have a midnight delivery, you don't have a load. Nighttime planning is non-existent. I believe I've received 2 loads at night, and I think one of them was a repower. So it does become difficult, especially if you're at a place that unloads you pretty quick. Then you're stuck at 1 o'clock in the morning looking for a place to park, and then you're just sitting there until daytime comes in at, you know, whatever time, 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock. I don't remember exactly what time they come in, but sorry, I had to switch hands there. So man, it's getting kind of hard to hold my hand up that long. So that is a part that really needs to be addressed by Prime. We really need nighttime planners, especially in the industry that we're in. This is a 24/7 operation running reefer. Like, I understand flatbed and tanker, which are mostly during the day, maybe some evenings, that kind of stuff. But for reefer drivers, we need planners at night. We need people who will be able to send out loads at night, something we do not currently have. What's next? Average miles. Again, that is 100% up to you. Some people won't take loads that are over 500 miles. Some people, like me, I actually like longer loads. I like loads, I mean, they may not pay as well, but especially running a team truck, I actually can get some good sleep rather than, you know, stopping 2 or 3 times a day. You know, bumping docks, and I mean, you guys know how it is in automatics. A lot of times you can bump a dock smooth, sometimes you just can't. So, like, my average miles per load is somewhere in the ballpark of 11 to 1200. This load I'm on right now is 2000 and something. But per week, I'd say for a team truck, I get anywhere from 4,000 to 5,000 miles. It just really depends on where we're going, what the freight's looking like, and you'll learn that as you go. Learning your customers, learning what's around there, learning what comes out of certain areas, that kind of stuff. Man, sorry about all the glare, guys. I haven't done YouTube in so long, I almost forgot how to do this. So I'm trying to, like, that's why I'm kind of staying off to the side here so I can, you know, turn the camera as needed. And that's why I keep looking at the camera. I'm trying to find out which way to turn to get it back. Micromanaging. A lot of companies will micromanage you. There's one company out there that I have heard of that at the end of your 10-hour break, they can call a wellness check on you, which means that, you know, the local police or state police will be knocking at your door at like 10 hours and 1 minute. Prime doesn't do that. They'll try to call you maybe if you're running behind, find out what's going on, that kind of stuff. They don't micromanage you. They don't care where you stop and take your 30s. They don't care anything like that. As long as you pick up and deliver on time, safely and legally, that's really the name of the game. That's really all they care about. So I mean, that right there makes it worth it to me. I don't want to be micromanaged. I've been out here a few years now, so I don't want somebody who's breathing down my neck all the time. Now, they might behind the scenes, they might be keeping an eye on my truck, especially on, you know, high value loads, stuff like that, which high value procedures are crazy here. So some customers require you to call them at every stop. Thankfully, not all of them, but every time you stop, you have to send a message to security, which was what we call a macro 25, telling them where you're stopping, giving them the name of the place, you know, the truck stop, city, state, highway, exit number, mile marker number. So, for example, on a high value load I did before, I'm just trying to think of one that I know of off the top of my head. Well, just because I don't know, I don't remember any of the mile markers or anything, but just say, like, you know, Petro, Raphine, Virginia, Interstate 81, mile or exit 205. That way they know where to find you if something goes wrong, anything like that. It's annoying, but I get it. It's a security thing, but you have to tell them, I'm going to be here for 30 minutes. But if you're taking a 30-minute break, you want to tell them something like 45 minutes, just because at 31 minutes they're asking you why, you know, what's going on. You'll have to submit another macro 25 if you're going to be a couple extra minutes, whatever. You know how some of us get, especially in big parking lots, take a while to walk across, you know, that kind of stuff. Got a couple more here, 3 more to be exact. Number versus person. A lot of trucking companies will say you're just a number, or a lot of people will say you're just a number to Prime. I can tell you, when I call in there, I don't have to give my truck number. My dispatcher, I just say, hey dispatcher, this is Aaron. And he knows my truck number. One of my nighttime dispatchers, shout out to you if you watch this, bud. Probably one of my favorite nighttime dispatchers, really personable, really easy to work with. Again, I'm not giving names out. But shout out to you if you're watching this, you'll know. When I call in there, because they have caller ID, he's actually made it a point to get to know his drivers. So this nighttime guy, when I call in there, I don't get, Prime Incorporated, this is whoever, or Prime, this is whoever. I get, hey Aaron, what's up? So that's definitely something that I appreciate here. I can't speak for all dispatchers. I don't know how all dispatchers do it, but I know how mine does it, and I am extremely appreciative. The next two are kind of linked together. It's emergencies, family emergencies and personal emergencies, stuff like that. The reason this came up on my list is because at another company I was with back in 2018, it got to the point my mother-in-law was on her deathbed, and they wouldn't help me with anything. I told them I needed to get home. I gave them like a week because they said she had, like 2 weeks left. So I gave them like a week. I was out on the East Coast. I lived in Denver. I'm like, plenty of time to get me home. And basically I made it to Omaha, which is where this company's corporate headquarters are. Think about it what you will. But I made it to Omaha. And this was on a weekend, and I needed to get home that day. They were saying that she might not make it through the night, so I needed to get home. This company didn't pay nothing. Like, I mean, a good week for me at 41 cents a mile was like 2,000 miles a week, maybe. Barely enough to cover my bills. Actually, it wasn't even enough to cover my bills. So I was like, hey, I need a little bit of help. Can you advance a plane ticket, car rental, Greyhound, Amtrak, something? I need to get home, and I'm out of hours, so I need to get home tonight. They said, their exact words, good luck. Yeah, so that was the end of my time with that company. I ended up getting an Amtrak, and I made it home before she passed, so thankfully I was there for my wife. But it could have been a lot worse. Now, as far as Prime goes, when it comes to family emergencies, you go home, and they'll help you get home if you have to. I've heard, sometimes they'll say, drop the trailer here so that, we can get somebody on it and, bobtail home if you're close enough. Or they'll be like, hey, can you disconnect from the trailer so we can get somebody else hooked to it, and then, go catch a flight home. Like, they don't play when it comes to family. When it comes to personal emergencies, I'm going to tell you about two stories that I heard at Prime. One was somebody who came down with the big C. We all know what that is. Anybody who's been alive in the last 2 years knows what the big C is. So Robert, the owner of Prime, paid for them to stay in a hotel for a couple weeks. Essentially took their truck note and put it at the end of the lease so they weren't coming back, 2 or 3 weeks in the hole. And essentially he sent meals to their room every day, just so that they could focus on their recovery. That right there, that is a good business owner. He took care of his employees. The other one had a driver that unfortunately passed away. I don't know when this was. I don't know who it was. I don't know the driver. And I don't know when it was. Like, I don't know if this was last year, a couple years ago, whatever. It's just a story I recently heard. Driver passed away in his truck, and Robert paid the expenses to get that driver home for a funeral. What kind of company does that, you know? So I'm here for the culture. It's why I've been here for a year and a half. I have no plans on leaving. I get paid well, I get treated well. That's all I ask for in a company. Are there things that I could complain about? Absolutely. And there are things that I did, even in this video. And in my last video, which was 6 months ago, oops, I had some complaints. But at the same time, I'm still here, and I wouldn't still be here if that actually bothered me that much. They're not deal breakers. So again, guys, this was kind of meant as like a recruiting tool, kind of all-in-one, all-inclusive video to kind of let you guys know what you're in for when you come to Prime. I do thank you for watching. Again, if you guys feel so inclined, my driver code is REIALE. All of this will be in the description below. We also have a Discord. We actually have two Discords, one that I've created and one that a friend of mine created. Mine is for Prime. Mine is for Prime specific drivers. Whether you're coming to Prime, at Prime, lease owner, fleet owner, company, you're all welcome. I'll leave a link to that down below, as well as my buddies that he created. I'll leave a link to that as well. That's just general trucking. Everyone is welcome there. Any company, owner op, single truck, 10,000 trucks, you're all welcome there. In both Discords, we're trying to keep it drama free. But again, guys, thank you so much for watching. And remember, when you look past all the junk in life, you know, like that light there, everything's beautiful. We're in Florida, man. Take care, guys. We'll see you in the next one.